Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming. Welcome to my press conference. I see we have a lot of faces out here in the crowd. So let's just get started hopping right in with questions. Starting off with the skinny kid in the front with the hair. Hello. Yes, this is GM Bummy of Undefeated Season. So, GM Ernesty, hypothetically, how would you feel if you proposed a $50 bet on a weekly game and then your team proceeded to get mollywopped by nearly 70 points? Yeah, I mean, man, yeah, that's a tough situation there. Um, that definitely, I appreciate you. Since it's hypothetical, um, obviously, I would never embarrass myself like this, but I definitely feel like I was out of my league. If I went out there and just throwing throwing $50 away. I mean, I guess that is kind of how this league works. Entering and knowing that you're never going to win, like Mr. Nays and Benny. But yeah, I mean, the other thing I would do is, if that happened to me, I would be, I'd have to put out a public apology, to the fans, to anybody that's ever supported me, my family. I definitely. Obviously that's an embarrassment that I've brought upon all of them. So yeah, a public apology would be right at the top of the list. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, thanks also, GM Ernesty. What are your thoughts on Commissioner Ernesty's antics in not providing us weekly newsletters to remind us how terrible some of these teams are? Do you see a possible revolt by the GMs on the horizon? Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. You know, while the newsletter is a big thing, I did bring in Commissioner Ernesty. He's over here on my right here, just to give us a little update on where things are standing. So, give it up for him. Oh, thank you. Appreciate you, GM Ernesty. I know we're on camera here. We're got everything going on, but you are my favorite. Okay. Now I know everyone's upset. We don't have a newsletter going on, but I will give us some headlines just to recap this past week. Starting it off with Master Aaron enlightening new GM Bulkin as ayahuasca in my veins. Drops down to 0-2 now. Rough start for the new GM. We did have a shit matchup of the week with both teams scoring under 100 points here, with the Riddler pinching off a close one against Cooking with Debo. Cooking with Debo did lose their only quarterback. Pretty early season-ending injury. Hate to see it, but we know a veteran GM and old Pepper will figure it out. Next, we're going to go to the old battle of Park Hill's finest. Yeah, so this has been a long time coming. Who's better Park Hill wrestler, better GM. Alan Waters, 4-timer. Keyshawn Hayes, 3-timer. And Alan Waters settled that debate. Salty Dogs came in with 70-point victory. Biggest victory of the week. It looked like West Virginia FC didn't even know what sport they were playing. I hope they know that this is fantasy football and not fantasy Premier League or fantasy soccer, but we'll see if GM Hayes can figure it out in these coming weeks. Next, we had wanted armed Rodgery, really adding to their sentence. They definitely assaulted Master Keeg. Honestly, it wouldn't be the first time that old GM Ernesty has scraped Master Keeg's face right across that pavement. Keeg is known to be a junkyard dog, get himself in some trouble in a parking lot, but Ernesty really came out on top here. Lastly, wrapping it up, the old Club Vogue Gold members stripped of their dignity and $50 as Undefeated Season lived up to their name, really dominating GM Nays by nearly 70 points. Just a heads up to everyone, be sure to go out and visit your local Club Vogue for this week's special of $50 spankings. So with that is going to be all of our matchups from the week. I hope that makes up for a newsletter, but I will toss it back over to GM Ernesty with the rest of his press conference. Yes, thank you, Commissioner Ernesty. Appreciate everything you do. You do such a great job. Yeah. Okay. So, picking up here, we got yeah, the fella in the Spider-Man costume.
Hey, GM Ernesto, aka Commish. Iron Heel here with Barstool Sports. Who do you personally see in the Clemson Bowl this year?
All right. Yeah. I mean, obviously, looking at the Clemson, bottom two teams in the league at this point being, West Virginia Football Club and, Cooking with Debo. I do see both of them finishing the season near the bottom. I wouldn't be surprised if the old Club Vogue Gold members did slide down there with them, though. Always, always got to keep Mr. Nays and Benny kind of on the radar as far as underperforming goes.
Okay, also, who do you see the Loons mollywhopping in the championship this year?
Yeah, I mean that's obviously a trick question, very loaded to assume that the Loons would be in the championship. I honestly see, the wanted armed Rodgery sticking it out. I think that last year left a bitter taste in our mouth, so we'll be right back there again to this year to prove that we belong in the championship. And then honestly, we want to play the best. So undefeated season at this point. I think that we'll see them at the end of the year. Hopefully, they've used up all their points early on in the season. That we'll save ours until the end of the year while they're using all theirs at the beginning. Yeah, one more. Go for it.
And lastly, because I look up to you so much and that you're my idol, could you give some advice for a GM such as myself trying to accomplish history like you did, back-to-back championships? How does that even happen? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's questions like that that just make me know that you guys don't have what it takes. I don't think Belichick was asking around like, hey, anybody out here know how to build a dynasty? That's just not how it works. You have to have the confidence that you're going to do it, and obviously you guys don't. Just makes me as leader of the wanted armed Rodgery not worried about the Loons one bit. So yeah, good luck inspiring your team whenever they know that you guys don't believe that you can do it. So yeah, we'll move on to somebody else here. Yes, sir. You, Mr. Handsome, go for it.
Hola, GM1, Mr. Marriott here. So now you're one-on-one on the season. What adjustments did you have to make between weeks 1 and 2? And are there any further adjustments heading into week 3 against a team led by Raw GM and Mr. Hayes?
Yes. We had a tough week 1. I'll mark that up to poor management on my side. Definitely couldn't figure out which one of our running backs was ready to go. Turned out that it was the 2 or 3 that were on our bench. But that's going to be a common theme going forward, is making sure that we have competition at every position. So obviously we had that in our running back room, looking to bring in some wide receivers this week. Last week we brought in some quarterbacks to challenge our team captain, and it really, really lit a fire under his ass. Came out with a win. The other thing that's helped from week 1 to week 2 is that we just played worse opponents. So, going from a respectable team in Scary Riders down to Master Keeg definitely makes it easier. So that's kind of something we're hoping we can carry forward going into week 3 with West Virginia Football Club. So if we can keep playing worse opponents and keep having competition within our own team, we're gonna be set. The other thing I am looking at for week 3, I may give some players the week off. Many people are putting West Virginia FC as kind of a bye week on their schedule, and I think that's smart. I am going to give Mike Evans the week off, knowing that he gave his heart for the team last week. And then we will look at just veteran Aaron Rodgers' his workload, how his body's feeling. and we may give him just a slight break this week, but still yet to determine. Thank you for the question. Yeah, we're gonna go with whoever that kid is. Ugly as a mug, but yeah. Ask your question.
Hey, yeah, GM Ernesti. How did it feel to absolutely rail GM Keegs after a not so great week 1? Did it come as a surprise that Master Keeg and his team didn't seem to even put up a fight, or was his performance something you and your staff suspected leading into the matchup?
Yeah, I mean, it's earnesty. One day you might get it right, but no, this is a great question actually. We put in a lot of prep this week, knowing that Master Keeg wouldn't. So it was no surprise to our organization that we went out there and really tore them apart. We knew that their management is known for their Friday and Saturday night activities. Caught video of them just gallivanting around the old stomping grounds in Columbia, Missouri. Can only imagine what sort of things they were up to there. I will say that there was a video that came across, was it Friday night or Saturday night, that really inspired my team. That included what looked like Mr. McCormick and possibly GM Flynn. I don't want to say that it was him because that'd be embarrassing, but I think it was Mr. Flynn. But it was a hell of a spin move right to a sack. I actually showed our whole defense that early Sunday morning, made sure they got some reps in pregame. Ended up with 6 sacks on the day. So, it worked for us. I'll give a thank you to Mr. Keeg if that was him. But yeah, we had no doubts that Keeg was going to underperform after his weekend out, and we were watching film, making sure that we were taking care of ourselves, getting ready for the week. So with that, I think that's all the time we have. I appreciate you all coming out here. Hope to hear from one of you guys next week. Awesome. Thank you.